Hello, this is Bill St. George. Welcome to another impression show with cameraman Bob. And we're here in the Steinert Building. Floor below me is where my studio and gallery is. And this is the 5th floor. And we overlook the Boston Common and the State House. And so I'm going to do that as an exercise this morning. So it should be kind of fun. I've done this once before, but from another angle, which we may try at another time. But anyway, I'm just going to, as usual, rough in the background here, the State House. I just want an idea right now of how much I want to show of that, and how big I want the State House to be. I'll just get that in, and it'll all be treated fairly loose, yeah, I'll make that a little smaller. And I'm going to use this there's a big tree down here I'm going to use as a kind of a introduction, a way into the painting. Some, trick that the Japanese artists use. Always have a large element just to draw you in, so anyway. So it'll be about this size. And then everything else will go accordingly. And we got some buildings. Again, this is going to be more or less a sketch, preliminary. I know maybe the next show we'll take it from another level. We'll take it from a level and bring it to another level, I should say. A little more advanced. Okay. That's the peak, trees. Trees is a cluster of buildings right here, here. It's kind of interesting. There's a walkway that leads you right here. There's a little cemetery down there. Maybe we take a break. We can. One of the Gilbert Stewart, the artist that $1 bill has a picture of Washington, and he was the artist that was commissioned to do Washington's portrait, the one that they used on the dollar bill. And you can hear the guys from the duck tour come by and well, not any duck tour, any tours really. You hear them talking. And oh, by the way, I did this background in acrylic, and it's an underpainting over a painting that was already done a while back, and I didn't bother sanding out these rough edges. It's up to you. I usually see what happens. And if they become too ubiquitous, then I cut them back. I'll sand it down or scrape it out and then paint over it. But here I think it'll work fine. And it's kind of nice too. There's the old, I don't know what church that's called. Oh, that's the Park Street Church. I don't know if I'll be able to show that in there, but I don't know. It'll look too much like a clothesline, but I'll get to that point anyway. So the idea is just to get into painting as quickly as possible, especially when you only get a half an hour to do it, half an hour show. So let's take it away. It's a great old building. I don't know if I mentioned this. I probably did, Bob, but there's a full, well, it's a miniature version of the New York, the Metropolitan Opera House on 2 stories below the main street. Did I tell you about that? No? Anyway, it's 2 stories below the street level. It's still there, and it was used up until the 60s, early 60s, for concerts. And it's been hasn't been used since then, but the reason this building is like 1850 1850 or something, 150, yeah, 18 something, late 1800s. They went 2 floors below just because at the time it was built, all these streets here were cobblestone. So, of course, the horses and carriages made a lot of noise, so the only way they could get away from that would be to go down underground, which they did. But the place is acoustically perfect. I mean, it's beautiful space, too. It still looks great. I mean, it's kind of in disrepair, but nonetheless, looks pretty good. All right, I'm going to rough in the trees. That's it. Whoops. See if I can get a gray with a couple of complementaries, and just see what we can get started here. I'm going to push the paint around so we can get some form going. I want to set this up. How fast we can get this out of the way. These, of course, are trees. I know you can't tell right now, but eventually the form will take shape. It's just massive trees here. We're going to go out today to paint, Bob and I, out on location, but it's December and it's a little on the windy side, cold and windy. I mean, cold is okay, but it's the wind that really kills you. Reminds me kind of the day we went out to, where was it, down near the Gillette place, down South Boston. That was pretty cold. Yeah, it was horrible. The worst. Kind of a nice view from up here. Again, I'd rather be out interfacing with people. I know those are the best, seem to be the best shows. Here we get just Bob and I, and it's pretty pathetic. So all we got to do is talk to each other. Anyway, I'm going to, again, block in. Try not to get in, I'm not going to get into too much detail right now. In fact, not at all. Just want to have wide areas of color. This will be the grass. It's a complex subject, but the whole trick is not to lose my way here. I'm going to knock out that tree that we had in the foreground. Kind of an interesting shadow pattern here too, but I'm going to bring it down to just about the top of the tree right here. Spend a lot of time drawing and fussing around with it, but for the sake of the show, I'm not going to bore you with all that minutia. All right, now, yeah, the guys that own the building were kind enough to let us come up here and paint. This was formerly, I think I was telling you, Bob, it was formerly the IRC that rented this space, and they were associated with, International Rescue Committee. They would. Refugees would come over from other countries, and they were the bridge for them. They give them a helping hand getting started and jobs and everything. So mostly people from countries that are war torn. They haven't escaping so that they could live. It was pretty severe. And then we had, 9/11, 9/11. That changed everything. So consequently, there aren't that many refugees coming here. And they're not, it's a tougher job getting into the country, obviously. I'm just going to try to react to the stimulus rather than go for the details. So I want to take a whole area and mass it in. Just see what happens. And use some of these colors underneath. Let's see what we can do here. That'll be the walkway. All right, now get some of this up in here. I think I'm going to push the State House up a little higher even, and maybe shorten it, but make it a little smaller. Okay. There's a shadow that's cast over here. What I'll do is run that indigo in there and then go back in with some yellow so that it has the property. It's that value, but I use the indigo as a base and then go back in it with the green. I don't know if I'm going to keep it, but it's just something to get some shape going in here. All right, now let's see. All right, this is maybe that building there, and this will be on the other side of the State House, and that'll be the front of that building. Okay, now get some yellow ochre here. Next to this is another building. And we'll go back in with the red for the State House, reddish orange. Let's see, right about here. I have to jazz that up just a little bit more, so I can find my way around this thing. Okay. There we go. Now, go here with a little bit of shadow on the side. If we keep in mind that this, again, is just an exercise and there's a lot more to go on it, but I think the faster you go when you first start a painting, the better off you'll be, because you don't have a lot of time to think about things. So you record it quickly, and then put it down. You know. Okay, now we got. Let's see. You know, rather than think about all the detail. All right, now I want to get that yellow gold dome right in about here. There we go, right there. Now I want the building next to it to frame that. What we're going to use is some indigo with some cadmium red light, and hopefully be able to bring out the shape of that dome a little bit more. That's a little dark, but that's okay. I just want to do this for drawing purposes. Okay. right, it's going to go like that. And I'll get some of this transparent earth red. And then we'll go back into it. I can go even a little lighter than that, so I'm going to add a little bit of Naples yellow. There we go. Okay. You can just kind of hang in there with this, you know, and it all comes together. Really does. It's like sketching, you know, like drawing. Everything is very loose and very rough to begin with, but you know, you just have to have faith that it's going to work out. Okay, now I'll get this part over here. Yeah. This would be the side of the building. Okay, now I think what I'm going to do on this big shape here is paint in the whole side of it first, the front, and then I gotta make sure I get it really light, and then go in it with the. It's gotta go even lighter than that. I don't know. Well, we'll see. Now I'm painting these shapes in now, and they're hard to distinguish, but by painting the sky around it and going that way rather than trying to do each little line and each detail is probably the best way to go. So I'm going to stick to the buildings right now, and then go from there. Pull out the shape a little bit more. Let's see, there's probably 4 of these, but I don't know. It's close enough. And there's a red building. It's a great city, though. Boston has some really nice architecture. Okay. And these backgrounds that I create from just painting a bunch of color, and I don't know there's no rhyme or reason for it, but at least it starts me off on a positive note, you know, color-wise. Now, okay, let's see. We'll get some. Yeah, that was a heck of a storm we had yesterday. Huh? How about those Red Sox? How about Tom Brady? Yay. Yay, yay. His wife had a kid. Giselle. What's her name? Bundchen? I don't know. Nice. I think the kid's got a pretty good life ahead of him. Was it a boy? What? You didn't crash the hospital? True. My sentiments exactly. Bob said, who cares? Anyway. There we go. Yeah, all right, now I got one building here that's going to add some shape right here, hopefully. I'll use the red underneath it. We'll form the side. And this here, some big building in the background. I don't know what that is, but we'll throw that in. That's the one there's the State House, and then this. Let's see, this goes like this. Yeah. And then some kind of a funny top on that. All right. There are still green trees, and this grass is still, even though it's we're not into winter yet, but close. And let's see if I can get some cadmium yellow medium. Cadmium yellow medium, there we go. I need some dark too. I think the medium will do with yellow ochre. I want to get some, this tree, the light is beautiful here though. Let's see, I'm over here. There's a stage, I'm going to put this here. Get a yellow, more of a pure yellow there. Now, see, this is a cluster of buildings on Beacon Hill, leading up to the State House. Let's see if I can differentiate this a little bit more. Yeah. Right there. Get rid of some of this red, because this red here is fighting with everything else, so I have to gray everything down. I'll do that using a couple of complementaries. Kill that. There we go. Now, once I get these all established, then we'll throw in the sky so I can get the form of that, and then everything else will be fairly abstract. Let's see. Yeah, this tree here, this big element, I'll show you right now, this big tree in the foreground is going to take care of a lot of the detail that's there now that will be unnecessary. So this will take care. I just want to show you the size relationship and what I'm talking about. Okay. Again, I'm not going for accuracy. I'm going for just that big shape there. Just to get an idea where that's going to fit in. Adding a little bit of red to it. More interesting, I think. Well, it sure is quiet up here, isn't it? Nice.
With the windows open?
They do. Want a window open?
Maybe that.
Next one, yeah. Good idea. Well, it's a good shot too, Bob. Right here, you know, when you're looking up across the cemetery and all that stuff, you know, you get a great view. And there's a public garden over there. Cambridge, MIT, KEY. Anyway, that's what happens in Boston. Yeah. You know, it's still pretty hard to tell, but it's gonna work out. Keep telling myself that. See, there are yeah, sure. There are yeah, it'll work. All I have to do is mass in the big shapes first. Keep going back to the minutia. That's where I get into trouble. So we'll mass in this here. And there is that'll be kind of the quiet area there. Obviously, it's a cemetery, so. Not bad for seat of the pants, last minute decision making, you know? I mean, the view and all, I think this works pretty well, you know? I mean, just gonna throw in some Again, get some more, break the skyline a little bit more. And I'll take a break at the end of the show. I mean, I've got to load up with some more paint. Okay, this is the State House. So what I want to do is relate on the skyline, relate the top of the building to this, to the dome. You make those, you know, you make those comparisons so that you're not too far down on, you know, well, you know what I'm talking about. We go through this all the time. Anyway, I just thought I'd remind you, 'cause some of the mistakes made are very basic, simple mistakes, you know, simple things. The basics, like in baseball, you know. It's all about the basics. All right. Get rid of some of these other colors here. And torque up some other ones. I'm going to go in that shadow with a little lighter. And then what happens when it goes across here, well, this turns darker. And I'll go from there, and then this will go lighter. So I'm using the property of these colors in the shadow area, like that. All right, now, let's see. See if we can get some shape out of the sky now. And then go back into the building. Have to use some. I'm going to simplify that skyline a lot. And what I can do also, I like some of the colors that are in there already. So I may just, whoops, there's actually a building here I just wiped out, but that's okay. We'll bring it back in again. There are some colors that I really like in the sky that are already there, the acrylic underpainting. So I'll show you how we get some of those back again. Beautiful sky. Again, I'm using liquid, medium to for quick drying, and also for speeding up the area that I'm really going to go into. Well, I got to this up, I guess. I'm yakking away for half an hour. Anyway, we'll get on with it on the second show. And thank you again for joining Bob and I for another impression show. It's Bill St. George. Goodbye for now, and keep painting.